Hello and welcome to Gutter Farms. We're back with another episode of UMRV Upper Mississippi River Valley, and you can see we've moved into the 4th week of October, and our loan interest is up, but that miscellaneous charge is down to a much more reasonable level at only $6,000 since we got rid of that biggest field from the lease land mod last time, which is awesome. And that means we're actually now going to start making money every day with our dairy operation here. You can see we just sold $20,000 of milk here as we've ticked by. And so that's a really great place to be. It means we're going to be able to start paying down that debt in no time and really ramping up the operations here on the farm. So now that we're past the core part of harvest, we've got a couple of key things left to do. I've got a handful of bales left out in the field. We've been taking most of those up to sell them here off camera. And today we're going to jump into a little bit of miscellaneous fall field work. I've got to get some lime spread on all of these fields. Our pH levels are just atrocious around the farm right now. And apparently my precision farming data is getting wiped out every time I load the game. Or is this field just on a different lineup? This field is part of the main farm. We never got a soil information for this one. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. There we go. Yeah, pH value, it's bad. So in addition to spreading some lime on our fields, I also have 2 other jobs we need to do. We've got some manure to spread to get our nitrogen levels up, especially in the fields that I plan on putting corn into, because we are going to plant a fair amount of corn to keep up with all these cows. We're going to need to do another run of silage for next year. And we need to do one more cutting of the grass back here. And so I'm going to try and find a way to make this a little bit easier on ourselves, but it does look like this grass is starting to get ready to be cut again. Unfortunately, I thought back in the day if you toggled on grass, it would show grass on areas of the map, not just field grass, but it doesn't seem to be working here, so I can't see what the actual growth state is here. But it looks like we're getting ready to be cut again. We're probably 1 stage away from full. So just looking at the difference between these two, I think this looked like this when we cut it last time. So we might let this go a little bit longer. I think getting into November to cut grass might be a bit long though. So I don't know. We might try to get out here and take one more cutting here. We'll have to take a look at the weather, though. However, we've got plenty of jobs to do today before then, so let's go ahead and see if we can get started. So to get us started today, we've gone ahead and leased this ProForce dry spreader from the co-op. We've got a load of lime here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and start in this smaller field back here in the corner. I'm really curious to see how far a single load of lime is going to take us, because we're probably going to have to get some delivered out to us again. I don't think I want to be trying to run this tractor and spreader all the way back up to town. It's quite the haul, that's for sure. And I don't want to put that kind of mileage on this tractor on the road, so we're going to be jumping in here. We'll see how it goes. We might have to get something to help us get it delivered. Maybe the co-op can bring some stuff out for us. Either way, we're going to dive right into it here and see just how far we get. I don't know exactly how fast we can go with the spreader, so we're going to ease into it as we're going up the hill here. We've got our handy manual gears going I always forget about, so let's pop that up a couple of gears, see if we can actually get going. And I guess we do have a GPS in this particular vehicle, so let's go ahead and get that configured. We'll finish taking the swath down here. I should have just gone around the outside of the field. Honestly, this field isn't even big enough to bother with GPS, if I'm being honest. We should have thought that through just a little bit, but that's all right. We'll go back to doing this the sane way, I suppose. shift down a bit for this hill. My goodness, the hills on this map are no joke. I didn't line myself up very well here, so we're gonna just have to take this path down along the edge of the field, and then we'll come back over here and grab that little bit that I missed. Either way, it looks like the spreader's gonna work out really good with this tractor. We've got plenty of power for it, and we're getting going down this hill quite well. I'm only slightly worried about running off the end of a field and ending up in a lake. I have to say, I was a little bit leery when I put the 9630T on the save here when we were figuring out what equipment we wanted on the farm, but this tractor has actually worked out quite well for a number of jobs, and so I'm really enjoying having this on the farm. We're gonna be probably hanging on to this one for a little while. I've got my eye on some upgrades for the farm in the spring, maybe here, or later in the year. I'm not sure yet, but I think this tractor's going to make it for a few more seasons. It's doing its job and filling a lot of roles. And so we're all done liming this first little field here, and we've still got a little bit over half of our hopper here full of more lime. So I think the next field we'll go tackle is actually that sunflower field here in the back that we just got done harvesting. I think that one we'll not be able to finish it with what we've got in here, but we'll be able to get most of the way done here. And then we're going to have to figure out how we're going to get more lime delivered up here to the field. I think in a real world scenario, they'd probably just come and dump it in a pile at the end of the field, and then we'd scoop it up into the tractor or into the spreader with a front loader of some kind. I'm not sure we've got all of that equipment set up here, so we might just have to think about another way to tackle this. I think I do have the auger wagon lime mod installed, so that might be a good one for us to leverage. And it looks like I've just got this set up, but I'm a degree off, so let's see if we can get a better AB line here. There we go. That should hopefully do us a little bit better on this field. And then I'm just gonna follow the headland here a little bit better than we did last time. I'm really not sure how I'm driving quite this fast. I feel like this is a little fast for spreading line. And there we go. We're all out of lime. I'm going to drive down here to the end of the field, and then I'm going to go see what kind of options we've got to lease something to bring more lime out here into the field for us. So looking at all of our options, I actually think I am going to get this convey all semi-trailer. I think this is going to work out really well for both spreading the lime and then potentially in the spring hauling seed and fertilizer out for the planter. And yeah, I think we're going to start off leasing this, and then we'll probably work into lease to own like a lot of our other equipment. It's not a lot, and we can afford it, so this is going to be, I think, our best bet. And so while we wait for the semi to get down into town and pick up that trailer and get a load of lime, we've gone ahead and also loaded up the last of our soybean stalks here, straw bales, and we're going to get this guy heading back up to town here and sell off this final little batch of straw, which is going to be awesome. That money from the straw actually came in very handy to, I think, making up the difference on all of the costs that we were having related to that land leasing fiasco. And so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I think that balances out some things. I always feel like selling straw for such high prices is a little bit unbalanced in the game. However, given how much money the land lease fiasco cost us, I'm not feeling too bad about it. So we're going to just get all of the things off of this tractor, the bale forks and such, because we are going to have to use this on the baler or the rake or one of those things here soon. And so let's go ahead. I'm going to put both the bale spear from the front and the back here all the way up here. Oh, I did not want to disconnect the front loader though. I just want to drop off the bale spike. The front loader does give me a little bit of weight in the front of this tractor, which can be quite handy for keeping things balanced. And I'm once again dropping my attachments near the back of the shed, so I'm sure that'll be a whole fiasco to deal with at a later point here. And so while we're waiting, we went ahead and got a bale loaded up here in the TMR mixer. Let's try and put a load of feed into the hog barns while we're waiting for all these workers to get back up to the farm here so we can get on with the actual work. We are burning through the silage a little bit faster than I thought we would. We had 1 million silage when we started the year out, and now we're already down to under 800K. So pretty soon here, another load or two, and we'll have burned through a quarter of our silage, and we're only into the end of October, which is not encouraging. I mean, I think we've got enough to get through the rest of the year here on silage, but I am keeping my eye on it. If I just come in here and look though, I guess I had mixed a few extra loads up. So this should be enough for approximately at 24-ish, 25-ish per day, almost 3 days worth of feed in there and almost 2 days worth in there. So we'll go ahead and dump one more load into barn B here just to keep them going, because I'm always worried we're gonna forget to feed them one day and fast forward time before then, and will completely ruin our production cycles and such. So trying to stay on top of remembering to keep these cows fed. And we're coming up here to the tractor supply, which is where I believe we're going to get all of our dry fertilizer bulk fill here. And so I'm going to go ahead and record a path into here. Let's see if I can manage to get this right, not crash into the fence. This is the entrance. It's got a nice in sign marked there. And we're gonna pull right through here. I think that's the liquid fill point, and then the dry fertilizer fill point is gonna be right up here. Yep. So let me pull one more forward here. Oh, where's my point? There we go. We'll call it bulk fill dry. That should be a good one. And let's stop recording for a moment because I have pulled forward quite far. I'm gonna back up a little bit here and see if we can get some of these compartments filling up with a lime here. I think each individual compartment can hold a different product, which is actually really unfortunate. That's the one thing I don't like about this trailer when I'm trying to do a lime, is that, well, it's kind of a pain in the rear to fill each individual component when I just need a whole bunch of the same product. But when I'm doing seed and fertilizer, it can be useful to break things up a little bit and have multiple containers. That way I'm able to bring a little bit of multiple products back with me. However, I think 6 containers is probably a bit much. It would have been better off if we'd just had the 3, I think. It would have been maybe better. I'm trying to figure out how to fill container number 2. For some reason, container 2 not getting filled up here. And container 4 is getting filled from the container 3 fill point. Ah, very interesting, very interesting. Well, maybe I just need to back up even farther then to fill container 2. Let's see what that does. Nope. Nope. Right there. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is very confusing. I'm clearly right in the middle of the zone in front of me, and yet we're filling the back hopper. Oh my gosh, the camera in here is also a little bit wonky. That's all right. We'll find a spot here. Well, either way, we've got the trailer all filled up. This should hopefully be enough lime to let us get through at least one field. Oh, and we're forgetting to keep recording our course here. Oh, my bad. We'll get that fixed up here and meet you back up at the farm. I'm coming back up to the field here. We've got a full load of lime. This truck has struggled to get up some of the hills with this full load, so we're making the best of what we've got, but not something I accounted for. I guess I've not usually had too many problems with the semis and stuff, but here we are. And let me see, the hills are just no joke on this map. That's the moral of the story. Before I do anything too crazy, though, let's see if I can get the pipe out. There we go. I can adjust this at least left and right, if not up and down. That doesn't seem to be doing much. This is left and right. There's up and down. All right, well, either way, I'm going to back this trailer up a bit here, see if I can get into position. Here we are. Get this menu out of my way. And there it goes. It finally starts unloading. I thought I was going to have to do something specific, but it just seems to start working as soon as I get the pipe in the right position here. So we'll cycle through different categories here. Oh, very nice. It looks like it's going to top this thing up pretty quickly here, just using a couple of containers of lime. I'm trying to make sure we're emptying each hopper as we go. I'm curious how much more is going to fit into here. Just a little bit, it looks like. Perfect. All right, well, now that we're done experimenting with this, I'm going to just leave it set up like this. We'll go back out, hit this field with some lime, and then circle back down here to get another load. I don't think this is going to be enough lime to do both of these fields, but this one hopper at least might be enough to finish off the sunflower field that we started over here. That's my hope, at least. We'll see how it goes. And I did look at the menu here and check the working speed on this ProForce is actually 27 miles per hour. Which this tractor isn't even capable of going that fast. So, yeah, I don't know what these things are supposed to actually be able to do, but 27 feels a little bit fast. And even if I could go my max 24 miles an hour with the way the hills are and such, we're gonna have a hard time keeping it going a whole lot faster than probably 18, 20 miles an hour. So we'll just do our thing and not worry about it too much. It looks like I missed a little bit with the GPS strip over there on the first pass before I got everything configured. We might have to clean up just a little bit of the other end of the field there. That's all right. However, I'm feeling confident we're going to get this field done with this hopper, and then we'll see. We'll see. I don't think the semi's got enough in it to wrap up this larger field over here, so we'll probably end up making a few trips back and forth, which is one of the reasons why I broke down and just set up the auto drive course on the first pass there. Make sure that future runs will be able to just send that semi back down there to do its thing. I'm going to try and see if this is actually a spot. Sometimes with the way precision farming works, there'll be areas that the ground doesn't get covered with lime, but the precision farming field data says there's a lime already in it. So it looks like that's one of these cases. We don't have to worry about it. And so I'm going to go ahead and just put this guy on the GPS track. We'll cover off the bit that we missed here. And then maybe on the way back down, I'll just keep the same GPS track. Depending on the field type or the soil type, we're putting on a very different amount of pH. In this area right here, I'm only putting on around 0.5 to 0.625 additional pH level. But in the other end of the field, I was putting on a full 1 point. And so we're seeing the utilization rates on the lime here change greatly depending on what part of the field we're on. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this ugly little strip that's right here since we're down here. And then we'll go knock out what remains of the side of the field there. And according to Precision Farming, it looks like all of this actually got lime applied to it, so we're not putting any more down here. So good enough for me. And then I guess as long as we're here, let's run it down to the end where we stopped applying lime on the way down on that first round. We'll pick it up and start heading back down to the end of the field, and that'll leave us in the best spot to reload the spreader here, as we'll be right down next to the semi. Although apparently we may not even have enough lime to finish this pass. It looks like we're just gonna run out. A little frustrating. I always hate when that stuff happens. I was just hoping to make it to the end of this field with what we had in the hopper, but now we'll have to come back out here and hit that little bit before we can move on to the next field. Well, nothing we can do about it. Let's get all lined up here and see how full this will fill. It should have enough in here to fill one more time all the way. At least that's what I think, because we only used 2 and a little bit of hoppers, and we've got 3.5 hoppers left. And there we go, all topped off once again. We'll start to hit this part of the field, I guess, is what I'm thinking here. So let me turn on my GPS lines, and I'm going to align over here a little bit. Here we go. This would be about right. We're gonna start working our way down the field here, and when I get back over here to the sunflower field, we're gonna whip back around into that row that we missed. We'll clean up that little bit, and then we'll jump right back on our GPS track. I think that's the simplest way to take care of things. This big spreader is a beast to turn sometimes, especially when it's fully loaded, so it's always easier if I can set things up to take those nice wide turns and not have to try and turn quite so tightly back in on myself. And so that's why I thought, let's just go all the way past the area that we had and do kind of a big loop here. There we go. Should work out nicely. So that's 2 fields done. We're on field number 3, which is our second largest field. And then we'll just have the little field across from the farm to do there, and then that really large cornfield. So I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do with the cornfield there. We'll probably end up setting up a course play worker to tackle that field, just because, yeah, it's a pretty big field. It's going to take a minute to do, and that way I can be dealing with running up and getting more lime while he's out spreading. And at 55% coming into the headland up here, I'm not sure I'm going to make it all the way around the field. That's all right. I'm mostly concerned just with getting this headland pass off, so we'll probably get this down to the corner and then just turn around and come back, maybe. I don't know. I always get myself all wrapped up on what the best way to tackle something like this would be. If I look at where the GPS line is, it's definitely not going to line up perfectly for this field, so I'm going to just hug the left-hand side here, make sure we're not missing any bits, since I'm going to have a little bit of overlap no matter what. And by doing that, Precision Farming is smart enough to close in the spread pattern on my left flinger there. I don't know how realistic that is. I know you can adjust them somewhat, but we're using a lot less product on the way down the field here than we would if I was taking a full pass. So I'm just gonna take that for what it is, and I'll use it to let us do what we need to do here. It's really convenient for us, to be honest. Whoa, too much talking and right off the edge of the field. So we may just make the headland pass on this end as well if I sort of use the same trick here and hug the left-hand side. I'm actually liking this a lot, because this is going to make our lives a lot easier. We're going to end up right where we need to be to refill here, and that is not too bad. Not too bad at all. So this is probably not going to top off the spreader here. We've only got, I believe, one more hopper of lime in the combine, or in the semi here, but we'll at least have enough to get a good start. And while we're finishing up that spreading, we'll go ahead and get the semi headed back up here to refill. And so that's a bulk fill drive, and we want to load at bulk fill drive and then bring it back to field 3, and we need lime. Let's see if this actually works out for us or not. It's a 50-50 in my book. We'll see. Either way, it should get it down to the fill point for us. And I'm going to take the 9630 over here and get started on a up and down rows. This is the easy part. Now that we've got a GPS track set, we can just jump right into our row and get going. Gotta manage our gears here a little bit. These hills are always getting the better of me. I'm kind of curious to see how many rounds I can actually make with a full hopper here. I guess we weren't full. We were at, I didn't even look, 80-something% is my guess. And so we'll at least be able to make one full round, which will be nice. Would have been nice to make 2 full rounds, but I just don't see that happening given that we're already almost at half. We'll probably be below half by the time I hit the end row here. So even with the extra, 15-20% that we could have put into the wagon here, I just don't think we would have gotten there. And then once again, that little corner, it looks like I missed a triangle, but realistically, if we look down at the precision farming map on the lower left, or the overlay on the map, it says we've got pH coverage across that whole area, so I'm not going to worry about it. Man, we're already down to 33%. I don't even know if I'm going to make it back to the end row with this pass. So we might need a completely full cart here just to get us back and forth one time, which is not going to be a problem once we've got more lime back out in the field and we can handle keeping this thing topped off. But yeah, I don't think we'll try and make any half runs again. We're already down, we made it, but 18%, not a lot of lime left. So I'll go ahead and just stick us back in the row, but rather than deal with the headache of finishing halfway and having to come back and all that, we'll park it here. I'll go check on that semi and see if we're getting close. I'm always curious the first time we go through a new course to see if it's working for us or not. So let's see if we manage to get through without getting ourselves hung up on anything. And then I guess more importantly, or as importantly, is can we actually fill this trailer up as we come into the zone? We've got a lot of little hoppers here, and I'm hoping AutoDrive can do a better job of detecting where each one is and filling it up for us. So there's the first one. Yeah, the whole thing seems to be offset by about a hopper width here. I don't know what's going on. This is a base game mod. I wouldn't have expected these kinds of issues, but there it is. And yeah, it's just going to sit here and go hopper to hopper, which is pretty awesome. And it looks like we managed to get all of the hoppers filled. No, we missed some hoppers, didn't we? Hang on. Yeah, it didn't grab the last 2 hoppers here for some reason. It's trying to do a half-assed job. I wonder if that's because we hit the point for bulk fill dry and it just moved forward because we had some in the hopper already. I might need to bring that point forward a little bit. So let me try this one more time. And I'll turn on the points so I've got a little bit better grasp on where we're at. I think I want to just pull this forward a bit. Trying to pull all these forward on the fly there. Now it's going to start filling. So yeah, it was just we hit the point. We had some in there. Let's make sure we can hit all the points here. It's always that balance of not setting the point too far ahead so that it doesn't get confused, but at the same time, yeah, that's going to work pretty good for us. All right. So as long as it's able to do this next time, I'll be feeling pretty confident. We've made a very wibbly wobbly course here, but that's all right. Auto Drive seems to be able to handle my janky courses pretty well most of the time. And this guy's going to drive all the way back out to the field for us now, and we'll check back in up there. I think we finally got everything kind of moving and grooving here. So while we wait for the semi to get back up here, I just remembered, you know, we said we were going to try and smooth out these field ends a little bit, especially places like this where you can see it's just very bumpy and such. And so I'm going to make this nice and wide, and we're going to just soften this out a little bit. See how it's kind of just taking that and evening that hard edge out to be something softer. I don't mind having the terrain be a little bumpy and uneven, hilly, but I do just want it to be kind of a more natural angle so that the vehicles and the implements don't hit that hard edge so much. And yeah, this is costing me a small fortune here as well. So I'm just trying to be conscious to not just hold the button down nonstop as we go through this. But I feel like we're making this a lot better here as we smooth things out. Let me come back along here. I've got a little bit back in here, and it's not completely getting rid of all of that terrain definition. It's just finding a way to balance it between all the parts that are under the circle here. Trying to find a good view to tackle this. Yeah, I think that's a lot better than where we were before I got in here. So I'm going to call this a success. I want to do one more flyby this way because this is the area that was really bad. And if I kind of get down here at more of a ground level, I can just see if there's any big hard edges left anymore. It doesn't look like it. We're pretty well leveled off here. Yeah, I think that's going to work out so much better now. I'm definitely liking this a lot more. Right here, there's just a little bit. Yeah, I think that's good. And it doesn't look like I've destroyed the field too much here. Everything really looks pretty good. So let's zip down here to the other headland for just a moment. We'll see if there was any bits or pieces on that end. I don't really remember there being anything on the other headland. I feel like it was just that one end of the field there. Everything else is feeling pretty good here. So our semi is back up here now. Might as well knock that off and get over here into the semi. That was a couple $1,000s that I think was well worth the effort, well worth the expense. We will have a much easier time doing things like tillage as we get out there here. This is one of the fields that we're going to need to do some tillage on at some point because the ground is, I guess, fairly compacted according to precision farming. So we'll figure that out here. And I'm just going to drive this thing right up on top of the hill here and see if we can get it to unload. Somewhere around there ought to work out pretty good for us. There we are. And we're all topped off. I'm going to leave that guy here. And we're just going to go ahead and dive right into it. This isn't going to take but a few minutes to get there and back. And then we'll have to top her off again. At least on the way down the hill here, we can usually get this thing going top speed. On the way back up the hill, it doesn't go quite as fast, but having things set up this way where I'm full on the way down and then I'm less full on the way back up is definitely making it easier on the tractor here because this thing was pulling pretty hard on the way back up these hills. And this time it looks like we managed to get down here with about 73%, which is almost enough to give me hope that we could make 2 full rounds, especially as the length of the field is getting shorter and shorter as we move down the way here. I guess it'll come down to if we're at 50% or not when I get back down to the other end. Although, honestly, I don't think I'll risk it. We've got the semi there all ready to go. We'll just top the cart off just out of an abundance of caution, and maybe the next time around we'll be able to make 2 rounds on a single hopper fill here. We don't have that many more passes left, to be honest. We probably only have maybe 2 more rounds to do here. So this will work out perfectly. If I just top it off here, we might even have enough in the hopper to finish this field off if I top it off right now. We got here with 49%. I feel like I could probably make it if I really wanted to, but we're not taking any chances. I'm going to need the lime for the next field anyway. We might as well just do it while we're here. All right. And it looks like we're also in a different type of soil here. I'm only putting on 0.375 additional pH over the amount that's there in some places. And so that's contributing a lot to how much product we're using as well. If we look at the larger map here, you can see all of this soil type was a little bit different soil type, which needed more pH on it than the bulk of the field over here. So now that I'm not really spreading in this higher soil type that needs more pH, that loam soil type, we're able to make a lot more progress with our with a given load here, which is pretty awesome. We made it all the way down there with only using up 19%, as opposed to the previous passes. A couple passes back, we were using up 25-30% easily in a given pass. And we're back up here on the end. We definitely did it in less than 50% this time around. So let's go ahead and just go for the final round. I'm almost positive we're going to get this whole round in. In fact, if I remember correctly, that next pass over there, yeah, that's a half pass anyway. So we'll make that with even less product. And we're back here. We've still got 33% left, so not a problem wrapping up this field at all. I am going to top us back off again, I think, before we move on. We've got that little soybean field that we left down there by the river I'm going to jump into now that the bales are all off of that field. It's easier to fill up here where we've got plenty of room on the headland here. The truck's all set up anyway. There we go. We'll go ahead and fold the truck up here and probably just get it turned around on the headland. I should probably have waited to start moving until that pipe was all the way in. That's all right. I'm going to go ahead and just get this thing turned around and driven back up on top of the hill here. We'll hold off on going back up and picking up another load until we get done with the next field here. I think after the next field we'll be able to put the rest of the lime into the dry fertilizer spreader here. I think once we finish this next field we'll be able to take what's in this semi-trailer, put it in the dry fertilizer spreader, and get him started off on that big cornfield, and then we'll send him back up to get another load of lime. However, let's see if we can knock this little field out. There's not a lot here, so I think what I'm going to do is we'll drive down in there to the corner as I'm coming back from the other pass here. Wow, this field is almost a single pass wide here. Let's get out of the ditch area. I don't need to be putting this lime straight into the lake. That is probably some kind of a violation. We're going to just make the round here. It's going to be one of those one round kind of fields. However, it is the nice loam soil type, so it's soaking up a lot of this lime, which is good. Get us out of the trees. I can't see where I'm going. Yeah, we're using up a ton of lime on this little field. That's crazy. We're already at 70% from a full hopper. I'm guessing this field's going to yield pretty good. We'll probably put corn in this field for chopping for silage since it's right here next to everything. My hope is that now that we've got a bunch of silage kind of into the bank, so to speak, that we can get by with a couple of smaller fields up here around the farm and chop those and get them up into the silos pretty easily, and use the much bigger fields over there for a cash crop of some kind. I'm going to park this spreader here on the road right next to the semi, and hopefully we'll be able to load into it here without having to move the semi. This auger has quite a bit of movability to it. It's actually quite a nice setup, a nice machine. We just get this over here, and then I think I just need to move to the appropriate containers. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it going. I'm really hoping all of this fits in there. Oh, not quite. We've got a little over 4 cubic yards here. I guess this would probably be measured in tons. 4.2 tons of lime left in the semi. I guess we're gonna hang on to that. We'll use it. So I'll get the 9630 going over here in the cornfield. We'll have to top him off here after a pass. Maybe I'll do the headland pass and then we'll top him off before I head down the long rows. That might be the easiest thing to do. However, I think this is going to be a great place to wrap up today's episode. We've gotten a lot of work done here on the farm today. We've gotten all but this last big field of ours limed. And we're going to hop over here and see what we can do to get some lime on there. Now, I'm looking in the distance. Everybody else is putting lime on their fields too. Very nice. However, we already did our plowing tillage on here with the big ripper. So I don't know if we should probably do a little bit of tillage back on after we put this lime on at some point as well. So we're going to have to figure that out. But that's going to be a problem for a next episode. We'll also be diving into our slurry, get some manure spread on some of these fields. I don't think we're going to have enough manure to handle all of the fields, but we're going to try and get some on the smaller fields up here by the farm, at least the ones that I plan on sticking corn into in the spring. I think that's going to leave us in a really good spot for having a lot of nitrogen in those fields, so that we have to put a little bit less on throughout the year as we're applying that. Yeah, it'll be a fun experience seeing how those slurry pits work on this farm. We haven't had a chance to do it yet, so that's going to be it for next episode. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. If you have, hit that like button, helps me out a lot. That's all for today. Ketterk, out. Apparently it helps when you buy soil information. We're having to redo this whole headland. Land lease fiasco cost us. I'm not feeling too bad about it. Oh my god, don't crash it, thanks. Ah, yes, that's clearly the correct container. Okay,